Right, shall we? Hello, folks. Calls 9 o'clock Sunday night UK time. It can mean only one thing. It is time for the Sunday Nighter. I'm looking a bit small there, aren't I? I wasn't that small earlier. Hello, folks. How you doing? Have you had a good week? Because I can be perfectly honest, mine's been up and down all over the place. Right, as usual, we've got to do our... Right, let's fix the chat. Come on. And hopefully, there we are, all fixed. See, I'm getting good at this. Now, the Google Doc is open. The links are down below. If you have a terrain-related question for me, get it down there in the Google Doc. And then I'll be able to jump on that and and do my thing, as people say. Right, open that. Make sure I can see the Google Doc. Let's see how the questions are coming. Okay, questions are coming in thick and fast. Always a good thing. Right. I see Jason in the comments. I see Kat. And then Kez comes along and actually packs for him. I haven't packed yet. Oh, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, it's lucky I've got this live show now, because I'd be fretting. It's been a long time since I've done an international flight. I'm flying out to Adepticon tonight. We're leaving probably about an hour and a half after the show. Mainly due to my paranoia and the electrics on Kez's car's having a little bit of a wobble this afternoon. Always happens, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? When you know you've got to go somewhere, you know something's going on, you get not a problem, just a little nudge. That'll keep you worried. Yeah, what will it? First time I've ever seen a car alarm go off while the engine's running. But we're in the AA, we're setting out early, worst case scenario. If we break down, the AA will pick us up, take us to the airport, and it's only an hour away, so fingers crossed. Oh, I need a brew. I need a brew. Nick's coming in, thanks for the new pledge level. Yeah, jump on it, buddy, jump on it. And remember, guys, my book is at Kickstarter right now. If you haven't jumped on it, links down below. I see my 7 Twitchers. Hello, folksicles. Can't see Facebookers, but I do see their chats. B Muzzle, Hasrol. I'm not sure you shared the right link. What you call it, Jace? So yeah, I'm not good with flying. You know what I mean? Or I'm not good with travel I haven't done. Or more importantly, I'm not good with anything I'm not really in control of. I think that's the best way of doing it. I leave here at 11 o'clock. Well, we leave here at 1 o'clock Monday morning. Yeah, I arrive in Chicago at about 2 p.m. Now, Chicago's 5 hours behind us. So that's our, that's our 7 o'clock at night. So I've been in bed all afternoon. I got up a couple of hours before the show. So hopefully it's going to be a long day. You know what I mean? My plan is I'm going to grab some sleep on the flight. Fingers crossed. Right, one day during your stay for Adepticon, you need to go to Kuma's Corner for Diner. Heavy metal themed restaurant with the best burgers you'll ever have. Ooh, that sounds nice. Coffee first. That's the first priority. Get to the hotel. Watch it. My phone, yeah. The data rates for my phone over in America, yeah, is £5 per megabyte. Not gigabyte, megabyte. Yeah, so we've picked up like a 3 mobile, because their data rates are the same, in the US as they are in the UK. Yeah, so we just picked up a pay-as-you-go one. But I've just been installing it, setting it up, and it doesn't accept Uber, which was the way I was going to get from the airport to the to the hotel. But luckily, yeah, a bit of fretting, a bit of searching around, I figured out I can use it as a hotspot for my normal phone. I've just got to make sure I do not switch that, yeah, into into data settings. Sleep. Makes your arms tired. Yeah, it certainly does. Butter. Is there someone in the chat who hasn't pledged? I don't know. I don't know if there's someone in the chat. I would imagine most of you guys have pledged if you can. I mean, if you turn up to listen to this waffle, I would imagine you're the sort of person who appreciates what goes on in this mind of mine. I'm not sure what that says about you. Got a window seat, Mel. You can study the ocean colours. I'll be studying cloud colours, mate. At least, hopefully, this one won't have propellers. Do you know what I mean? Oh, we are currently at, what do you call it? 110,398 pledged. That's mad. Thank you. Always prepare for the unexpected. Pack extra socks and underwear. I'm actually going light. I figure if I need anything, I can get it over there desperately. They are pagans pegging next weekend when payday comes in. No worries, buddy. I feel like I'm going to be banging through these coffees. Kez has gone bed so she can drive me to the, what do you call it? So she can drive me to the airport. So, B-Mother's saying, that jumped quick. 2,421 backers. It's looking good as well. We're almost getting out of the hardback one. Yeah. We've got sort of like quality upgrades, and then I get my pages again. Yeah, and we're just getting out of a quality upgrade to upgrade the book so it's nice and shiny, and then I'm getting pages again. Yeah, so I'll be glad when we get into this pages. It's weird, like I said in the vlog, I don't know where the book's going to end. It's like, right, well, I had a plan for if it just funds, and I had the plan for my perfect book, you know, and we're going to land somewhere in between, I think, and, oh... Jez is saying, if only people had suggested you write a book before, Mel. If only. I mean, it just came out the blue, Jez. And t-shirts as well. Boyd saying, have a safe trip. I want to be at Adepticon. Wish I was. Have fun, mate. Thank you, buddy. Dav saying, first time catching the live chat. Welcome, buddy. I want water and snow extra pages. Yeah, something good planned for the next update for those. Yeah, Cat's doing a promotional thing. Just a reminder, guys. Yeah, that your pledge does not come out of your bank until the 14th. So if you're worried about money and that sort of stuff and paydays, you can pledge now. It doesn't actually come out till the 14th of April. Right, how are we doing on the questions? We've got 4 in. I'll keep going until we get a few more. Nervous. I've got butterflies, you know what I mean, the apprehension. I don't think I'm nervous about the flying. I know I've got a long, because I'm heading down to the airport early, because, you know, we had like a little bit of wobbler with Kez's car. Yeah, I know what you call it. I know I'm going down to the early, what you call it. Is Dave in? Hello, Dave. There you go. People can see Dave a bit more clearly. I've made him a moderator. Dave, don't touch the extra buttons, mate. You concentrate on pages. I'll concentrate on buttons, okay? Yeah, but there you are. I've made Dave a moderator. We've got a lot of moderators in the chat tonight. it's all padlocks. I've got more. See, it's because you lot are a rabble. That's what it is. He actually drinks coffee. Instant coffee. What's wrong with instant coffee? So what's the new stream target? We haven't even put a stream target up. Donations for tonight. Either jump on the Kickstarter, obviously. You know what I mean? And help make that happen. Yeah, or if you've jumped on and you want to throw a little bit more. If you haven't upgraded your pledge and got yourself a little bit more. You can do the PayPal thing down below. If I'm perfectly honest, I've got the gimbal. It looks great. I'm calling it the GIMP Pro because my phone did one of those horrible auto check things. I mean, I know the auto spells are like, you know, they're designed on what people type and stuff like that. But I've never typed that. So it's either included or in standard, or my phone is a pervert. It's one of those two. Yeah, but I've got my GIMP Pro. I've just got to get a feel for it. Hi, best way for snow on small bases. Ooh, probably the easy way, the quick and easy. Baking powder, white acrylic paint, and a bit of PVA. That'll give you a nice snow texture. I mean, there's loads of different ways of snow, detailed in the book. I was actually going through the modular section. Yeah, and I'm like, can I fit this on 2 pages? I've got to fit this on 2 pages. Because I go around and I've written down all the bullet points of what I want on all the various different pages and the various different sections. But you know how my brain works, things get thrown in. Yeah, and me and Kez, we were watching a film last night. And just stuff was getting thrown in. And it just got, it's like, ooh, can I fit that on 2 pages? And that's just on modularity. Mine's all called auto-incorrect. Auto-incorrect. That sounds a bit like mine. Hey up, Insane. Insane in the Membrane? I'm going to start calling him Membrane now. I think that's fitting. Fitting tribute to Firestar and our Insane Commander. Unless he hates Firestar, of course. Oh, James. James is struggling with his eyesight. You're a bit strained, been doing a lot of computer work. Or if you've been out, like, places that are bright, then dark, then bright again, that can affect it. That's one of my biggest fears, to be perfectly honest, troubles with my eyesight. I mean, it is, isn't it, for anyone who does a practical hobby where they need to see. I often thought, yeah, that if I ever went blind, I would turn my hobby into writing, into writing books and doing campaign packs. Because I love campaigns. I mean, who sits down and thinks, what's your plan for if you go blind, Mel? What was the last Airfix kit you made, Mel? That one. I just had to pick up another one. Because I'm not that good at making Airfix kits. To be truthful. Yeah, I don't want to be leaving those there. That's one with travel docs. Yes, I print them out. Everyone's going, why don't you have it on your phone? Because I'm one of those sort of people, yeah, that I worry, I fret. And so, I plan, I prepare. Prior planning and preparation prevents piss poor performance. Remember, folks, it's about the 6 Ps. Yeah, so, if I've got them on paper and they're in my bag, if my phone dies or I can't get a signal, yeah, or I lose my phone, I can still travel. Stretch goal on fire damage and explosions. You may be seeing that one coming up quick, because that's all covered with the... I don't know how to describe it. How would you... That's sort of like city building with skulls on it. Every single... Oh yeah, I understand what you mean. Needs more skulls. Right, today. Jed's been sticking together some Oathmark goblins for Rangers of the Shadow Deep. I see that coming around. A friend of mine is talking fire and ice. JP saying, I prefer a hard copy to digital as well, Mel. I prefer hard copies, to be perfectly honest. You know, I like the feel of a book, and if I'm going to absorb myself in a book, one of the things about digital copies that I find, yeah, is they're great for reference. You know what I mean? So reference, brilliant. Yeah, especially gameplay, going out, anything like that. But if I want to soak myself into a book, I don't want the distractions, and often having it on a digital item, yeah, comes with those distractions. Now, I know loads of you lot are all like, well, you just switch the notifications off, Mel. You know what I mean? Manage your phone, dude. Yeah, and I'm not brilliant at that sort of stuff, yeah. So I think also, I grew up in North Wales, yeah, and I grew up in a very remote, sort of like little farmstead. Yeah, my nearest mate was 4 miles away. It used to take me about an hour and a half to walk to go see him. Yeah, so I used to walk to go see him. I used to have breakfast at 5 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, walk to go see him, spend the morning with him, walk back to lunch, yeah, have lunch, then walk back to see him again, yeah, and then and then spend sort of like another like 3-4 hours, and then walk back for for tea. Yeah, and if you're wondering why I walk back for lunch, yeah, I got my stepdaughter. Yeah, let's not go there, eh? But yeah, I had a certain structure to my life, and you know I wasn't allowed to deviate. So if my mate was 4 miles away, I had to walk back for lunch. On the plus side, yeah, I was averaging about 18 miles a day. Not bad for 12. Oh, the evil vacuum. Just listen to your Remembrance to Retreat episode, Mel. Can't wait for the book. Yeah, I think I blew their minds. Because they asked me what was going to be in the book. That's a mistake, innit? Because they asked me to, like, right. You know, and every time they thought they got an angle on, where they were going, or what was in the book, they realised, no, that's just one section of the book. Let me talk about the next section. Oh, Russell. It wasn't. It was a goat. Gale the goat. I used to have headbutting competitions with it. He used to stand on the wall. It's explaining quite a lot, to be truthful. I'll tell you what, goats can headbutt. Does that seem like a record number of whatchamacallits? It probably could be, to be perfectly honest. Like I say, I am not as settled as I normally am. Oh, dear. I'm supporting the Kickstarter. Hope for a hard copy and sent your Kickstarter notice to the Northern Virginia Gamers, my game club. Nice one, Dave. Thank you for that, buddy. And listen, I want to make it clear. Yeah, we're going to be collecting the names of everyone who's shared the project. Not just backed it, but also shared the project. Yeah, because we want to acknowledge, I want to acknowledge those, you know, and Dave thought it was a good idea. But we both agreed in the PDF version, because I think everyone would prefer pages of terrain in the main book rather than people's names. I think we're all on the same sort of page there. You know what I mean? I know in Dave's book, he's got the backers' names in the in the actual book. But for me personally, yeah, I want those for terrain. Goats can headbutt. I'll write that one down. They can. Used to ambush me as well. When I used to go out in the morning to go feed the chickens and the ducks and the geese and that sort of stuff. It come charging across the yard. This one time I didn't see it, and it hit me about mid-thigh, and I just straight up horizontal and then just dropped. The chickens didn't get fed that day. I was working on a homemade airbrush booth. Heard voices. The stream. What's going to be in the book? Pages. Lots of terrain, to be truthful. I started off with the idea of, right, cover the core materials, techniques, all the core techniques, all that sort of stuff, and make that, for the very first book, yeah, and make that, not the bulk of the book, but a considerable portion of it, yeah. But as we expand, it's more the actual guided tutorials that expand. So taking all those techniques and applying them over to very specific themes and things that you'll know, and your themes that you game in. Yeah, and so as we expand, I get very few sort of theoretical pages because most of that is already in there. Yeah, it's all the other stuff. Oh, but comments are flying like you wouldn't believe when it combines with the Twitch and the Facebook. Hello, Bruce. MJ Red. Hello, mate. Don't know any modelling clubs in Rotterdam. Don't watch the Twilight film with the gremlin on the wing. I remember that one. And the business guy was getting really panicky because he could see the gremlin on the wing pulling the bits off. It wasn't particularly good for my flight to Beasts of War because I could actually see the engine and the propellers going round from my seat. Hey, Westy. Mel, can I use dowel for palm trees? You can, but they're a bit too straight, to be perfectly honest. I'd also wrap them in tissue paper soaked in PVA to get a bit of texture for them. If you have any fir trees near you, the branches from fir trees are exactly the same as the trunks from palm trees because they grow via the same sort of biological method. So they have the same sort of ridges and design. Yeah, and so if you're looking for really easy palm tree trunks, go to wherever you see, like, you know, fir trees, and go and have a look for the branches. Yeah, please don't take branches off a living tree. First off, yeah, if they're living, you'll have nightmare problems with them. Secondly, if you take the branch off and you snap a branch off, the bark works as a shield to stop bugs and stuff, yeah, infecting the tree. It's like opening a wound. yeah, you can kill the tree. Also, what you call it, just a quick shout out, because I see this going on a lot, yeah, on comments, when people talk about tree bark for what you call it, for doing modelling, yeah. Only get your tree bark off dead trees, yeah. Don't take it off living trees. I saw on one forum someone suggesting that you go around and you strip it, yeah, off a tree and then just dry it out. The thing is, yeah, the centre of a tree is solid. It's, you know, all the biological stuff to keep the tree going alive actually happens in the bark. So the bark is where the moisture gets carried up and down, yeah, from the roots. So if you strip the bark and you take it all the way around and you take a strip out of the bark, even if it's just a centimetre, or maybe let's go for an inch. If you take an inch strip, yeah, all the way around the bark, yeah, you'll kill the tree completely, yeah, for a bit of bark. So whenever what you call it, if you're after tree bark, please only dead or fallen trees or off fallen branches. Now my best suggestion for collecting all this sort of stuff, okay, is to go out just after a big storm. Not just because what you call it, not just because there's more chances of fallen trees, yeah, but also when you go foraging and you're collecting these bits and that sort of stuff, once they've been on the ground, they start to soak up moisture, and so they start to rot, and they start to get, you know, gribbly bits and insects and bugs and stuff like that start to get inside them. If you go out just after a storm, then when you go round, yeah, everything's still fresh, yeah, so it's nice and dry. Well, it's drier than it is if it's been sitting on the ground, and it's clean, it's got no mold on it and all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? So just a quick shout out, guys, if you are collecting natural stuff, wait until the natural stuff's dead until you kill it. Thank you, SD. Ah, will you be at Nova? I don't believe so, no. There's no plans for Nova. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't expecting to go to Adepticon this year. Yeah, to be perfectly honest. Half of me wasn't expecting the book to happen. I was expecting me to come up with some excuse and put it off. You know what I mean? Because I can do that sometimes with things that worry me. Especially big projects. I get too focused on the channel sometimes. And what you call it? And so I can talk myself out of something very, very easily. Yeah, and so when I think the first first Skype conversation of the year with Dave, yeah, was, have you booked your tickets? And I was like, no, not yet. He's like, book your tickets now. And I booked my tickets. I just did it. And so I'm going to Adepticon. Now I don't think, what you call it? I don't think that I completely lost my. I don't think that what you call it I would have gone, but I'm glad I'm going. I've still got a little bit of a wobbler about getting down there and flights and stuff like that, but that's just me travelling. I mean, believe it or not, I was the same coming back and then going to Ireland, yeah, which is just a little short hop and in the UK. Yeah, I'd never actually left the country, and so. I'll be fine, you know. It's really weird. I have this weird thing that, you know, I put off stuff that I'm really nervous about. Yeah, but on the other side of my brain, it's like, Mel, people travel all the time. People do this for work. Yeah, you know, you travelled in the army. You know, you're 43 years old, boss. Get over it. It's a bit like telling myself to just pull myself together. And you know, I need, but. I think I'm going to need another coffee. Let's have a quick catch up with the comments. Have a look how many questions we've got. And then I think I'm going to recharge this mug because I think I'm going to need some caffeine, guys. Everyone's talking bark and rocks. Love your tech stuff. I've looked at the tech stuff about how acrylic paint works, colour mixing, making alterations to products that we're overcharged for. Yeah, there's a lot of, what you call it, my method of teaching has always been, yeah, not just teach you technique, teach you the principles behind that. Now, that's changing, okay, on the channel because I've actually started to do a new series of little videos. Yeah, they're like anything from 2 to sort of 5-minute videos where I just nail down a technique. And I don't really go into the in-depth of why. you know, the wheres and whys and the science. I just talk about doing the technique. And that's just basically to get crucial techniques across to more people. You know what I mean? And so far, my patrons have liked them. You know, they're going down well. But with regards to my normal teaching method is explain the underpinning knowledge that the technique is built upon. I suppose it's the difference between, as a combat medic, yeah, I was taught to put chest drains in, I was taught to do amputations, I was taught to, decompress the chest. Yeah, you know, let air out when you get like air in your lungs, blood in your lungs and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I was taught to do tracheotomies. Now, as a combat medic, I didn't really understand all the science behind what I was doing. They just taught me the technique, and they basically gave me a set of guidelines of what to do, what not to do, when to do it, when not to do it. Yeah, guided medicine, it's essentially called. Now, a doctor doesn't have guided medicine. Well, they're trained with guided medicine, but they have the underpinning knowledge, yeah, which makes both of us can still do the technique, yeah, but the doctor with the underpinning knowledge can apply that technique and other things in that area far more because he has the underpinning knowledge. I take that same principle and I apply it to terrain, yeah, so all the sections will have underpinning knowledge in, yeah, sort of why it works like this. So when we talk about washes, we'll talk about all that sort of stuff. It's going to be a lot easier to explain with illustrations as well. So yeah, that's for all the sort of theoretical and the materials and the tools and the major core techniques. And then when we get over to the sort of more build pages, they're more, right, these are techniques, or these are specific modelling techniques for trees, or this is specific modelling techniques for water or lava or weathering or battle damage or explosions or rubble or rusting, steam, oil grime, what was the other? There's tons. I'm not allowed to give too many away. Because Dave says you've got to be careful, because I tend to ramble, and I could very easily ramble and say there's going to be things in the book that are in a later stretch goal. And if someone goes, great, I'm getting on the book for that, and we don't reach that stretch goal, then when they get their book, they could be disappointed. So I've been told I've got to keep it broad, yeah, because you can't promise someone in a book and then not deliver. So get me my pages, please, because I want to deliver. Right, let's have a look at the questions. Come on, Bosicle. Oh, I've got 12. Right, that's looking good. I've got an empty mug as well. Yeah, we've got tons of people watching us. Nice. Breathe. Breathe. I guess your consciousness, it's because you have to organise the logistics yourself for the trips. The army, the logistics was done for you. Yeah, very much so. With the army, you turned up. You know, not just that, yeah. The lower your rank in the army, the less you're responsible for. Yeah, so you generally have someone above you who is responsible and knows what's going on. And if they don't know what's going on, it's generally not your problem, it's theirs to sort out. So you tend to be well looked after in the army in those situations. I mean, obviously, you're expected to use your own initiative in a situation where you're going to have to think on your feet. But logistics and moving troops from one country to another, yeah, you just, right, get on the wagon. Right, get on the plane. Right, get off the plane and on the wagon. Right, you're here. And that's pretty much it. You don't even have passports or passport control. I mean, what's the point in doing security when, you know, you're walking through in greens with your personal weapon? Hello! Backbone saying, congratulations on your book deal. Well done for supporting him. Thank you, buddy. When do we get the documentary version of the book? To be truthful, you are. That's the vlogs. That's the closest to a documentary version it's ever going to be. I think your video about glue or acrylics was how I started watching Mel. Understanding the materials is invaluable. Yeah, I also think I get a lot of ancillary followers. And I call them ancillary followers because I pitch myself as making wargames terrain. You know, and I don't say I'm a railroad modeler. I don't say I'm a diorama modeler. I make terrain for people to game on. Yeah, although the techniques cross a load of different categories. I think I pick up loads of people from really weird, I call them really weird hobbies, but hobbies that you just wouldn't even associate with our wargaming stuff. I mean, I discovered, yeah, I've got quite a small fan base in the dollhouse community. Yeah, where they get doll houses and they model them up to make them look more realistic. Now, I'm keeping this quiet from the family because I've got quite a few nieces, yeah, and there's one who's really into doll houses. Yeah, it's me little brothers. In fact, I should do that. So I'm trying. She's got this huge doll house because my brother, yeah, he's a gas fitter. And what do you call it? He bought this kit and he put it together himself, and it's nice, and he's given it a basic paint job. But I keep looking at it, and it's like, I could take that and I could turn that beautiful. But I don't want to commit to it until after the book's done because it's a big thing. But yeah, I have a following in the dollhouse community, and I think that's because of the underpinning knowledge. Go for it, Mel. You could do the travel. My mate's mum's house was just destroyed in Mozambique. Can I go help and rebuild a house? Yes, I can. So, yeah, dude, thank you. Actually, there. Do you know what? Straight. Just a reality check like that. My mate's mum's house was destroyed in Mozambique. And I'm worrying about flights. Nah, let's not worry about flights. Really? Genuinely, that just... Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that though, buddy. A huge dollhouse for huge dolls. Oh, dolls are about that big. Although we've got these weird ones in Britain with these China faces that are about that big. Kerry's mum collects them. They freak me out. She's got about 200 and she's leaving them to Kerry when she, you know. And it's like, I'm not having those in my house. I am not having those in my house. Architectural rendering modelers are first cousins for sure. Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. We pull a lot off. Our foam board techniques come from the architectural lot. And I think their groundwork techniques come from us and the railway community and the diorama community. In fairness, I watched some weird stuff for terrain ideas. It makes sense. They do the same. Tom's saying. Yeah, it does make sense, to be perfectly honest, mate, because I watch some weird stuff. You know, I watch a lot of science stuff and all sorts. Susan's saying I work with model horses. There you go. Do you know what I mean? I like how the crossover's there. And I suppose I like how my channel has that crossover, because if the stuff I'm doing is of interest to more people than Wargames Terrain, it means I'm getting the underpinning knowledge right. Because people aren't coming for the Wargames Terrain, they're coming for the underpinning knowledge. You know what I mean? And so I think, I think applying that to the book is the right idea. Yeah? One word, Annabelle. Don't! Just don't. Just bought a bunch of tools from Micromark. I haven't heard of those in ages. I'm going to start to make scale furniture. Nice one, Patrick. Monster Doll High. That sounds cool. Yeah, Chucky Dolls do the same for me, Russell. And the model kit community did my King Kong background in speech from you, Mel. Right. Techniques are techniques. Filler is filler. Paint is paint. Glue is glue. We just use it a bit differently. Yeah, and as long as we understand how it works, we can use it however we want. Right, let's do some questions. Right, I've got 12 questions so far. So what I'm going to do is I need to very quickly recharge my glass, guys. So I'm going to do a be right back. Yeah, I'm going to be back in just 2 minutes after I've recharged my coffee, so we can get stuck in. We'll get stuck into your questions, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so just let people know in the comments I've just gone top up because Kerry's in bed tonight. And the kids are staying at my mum's because obviously, you know, Kerry's taking me to the airport, so I'm on my own tonight. So, back in a second, guys. Right, there we go. The mug is topped up. I'm going to have to get a travel mug for situations like this. A travel mug for... Should we call it a live show mug? I believe it's -5 at night in Chicago at the minute. Right, let's do this. Okay, questions. Right, I've got 12 questions showing. Obviously, links down below to the Google Doc. And remember, if you want to get... I suppose all we're collecting tonight is a bit of spending money. If you'd like to treat me, jump on Kickstarter or jump on the links down below, guys. Very quickly check PayPal, make sure I'm not missing anyone. No, not missing anyone, we're good. Right. Mel, will we get live updates for your North American tour? Yes. I've been learning about the social media stuff. Yeah, the stories and that sort of stuff. I'm thinking Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube stories. Yeah, so I'm going to be putting stuff on that, little clips. Same time, I am filming over there and filming my vlog. I'm also doing I want to do a proper terrain video as well of the tables and that sort of stuff. Yeah, so we've got that going on. Right, where are we with the campaign before we kick off? Oh, have we had another 7 backers? Oh yes, nice one. Thank you, guys. Onwards and upwards. Remember, if you back during a live show, let us know in the comments if you back during a live show. We can shout you out. Yeah. Also, when I'm back from from Chicago, I fly back. I get back on the Tuesday. Yeah. I'm going to salute on the Friday, back on the Saturday, I think it is, or salute on the Saturday, back on the Sunday. I can't remember whether salute's on a Saturday or Sunday at the minute. I don't really care. I'm going to Chicago first. I can figure that out when I get back. And then we've got a week until the end of the Kickstarter. My plan for that last week is I want to go into the studio, but I'm planning on going in late night and sort of starting streaming quite sort of like 6:30ish. Yeah, and you know, seeing how long we can run for and that sort of stuff. So, yeah, if you do back during a live show, let me know in the comments. Make big caps. I've pledged. We'll give you a shout out. Right, questions. Okay, we've got 13 questions so far. Is it -C or F? I don't know. It's cold. Bring a jacket, Mel. It's not unheard of to have a March blizzard. You're joking, right? We've got past the snow bit. Salute is Saturday the 6th. Right, okay, so yeah. See, this is why I've got people managing me. I do terrain, I do videos, yeah. Anything beyond that, I have people like, no, Mel, this way. Don't worry, Mel. No, you're not going then there. Kez is just the same. Okay, right. Oh, we've got a question from Twitch as well. Oh, I'm quite chuffed about that. Thank you, Twitchers. I've started to put the links and stuff in the actual Twitch. Yeah, so if you are on Twitch and you want to ask a link, want to ask a question, just look below in the panels. Yeah, you'll see a link to the question doc. Click on that. Go ask your question there, guys. Right. Right, I don't know if Dave's around for this one. MDJ Red is just asking a technical question on the Kickstarter. Does it, I know it does accept PayPal, but does it also accept Ideal? I've no idea, mate. I've never heard of Ideal, to be perfectly honest. But someone in the comments, Dave's in, he might will be able to answer that in the comments, buddy. Right. Sander Van Dyke, hey Mal, I'm making wire trees for Crossfire, but my flock won't adhere well enough to the branches. Any pro tips when using spray glue? Using spray glue to adhere flock to the branches? Okay. Normally you have a substructure between the branches and the flock, mate. So, you know, like in wire wool, coconut fibre, rubberized, vulcanized horsehair. We love that one. Yeah, but some, or even like HD foam carved in the shape of a tree crown. But normally you have something between the branches and where the flock's going on. Yeah. I've not actually come across using spray glue to stick flock to to branches. So I'm a little bit confused by that one. And yes, I will see you in Brussels, so bring your trees. I've just noticed the last comment. Yeah, I will see you in Brussels on the flight back, mate. So yeah, bring your trees and we'll figure it out then. You're going to be knackered by Salute, buddy. Oh, James, it's going to be an interesting trip. And to be truthful, I'm going to be knackered by the end of this Kickstarter. Yeah, but I just took the idea of just do it. Just go to the wall and do it. Yeah, get as many pages as you can, because this isn't just about making a book. It's a bit of stability, for me and Kez for the near future. And it's a bit of stability going forward for the family, and retail sales and stuff like that. Yeah. Oh, Dr. Vulcan, welcome aboard, buddy. Yeah, so there's a bit of that on it as well. And it's like, all right, Bose, I've been through a few tough periods in my life, and you just soldier on, you get through them. I mean, this campaign is nothing compared to bringing my son into the world, which involved living at the hospital for 4 months, whilst doctors told you, there might come a point where you have to make a decision between your wife and your son, which one's coming home from hospital from you and stuff like that. So it's only a campaign, so I've just thrown myself full bore at it. Now, the good thing is I've got a bit of a break. Although it's a long flight over, I've got a couple of days before Adepticon kicks off properly. And other than my mobile, I've got no terrain. I'm not taking any books to work on the book. Yeah, I'm just going to chill, have a catch-up. I'm going to have a social time. Yeah, a bit like Beasts of War was. Beasts of War was a lot of work, but it was fun work. Yeah, the fatiguing stuff is sitting at this computer for 14 hours a day. Doing the pushing, answering comments and stuff like that. And so I'm going to use Adepticon as get there, relax, have a bit of a social one, get back, a couple of days for the family, do Salute, which is always a mental one because it's a one-dayer, and then onwards to then just the calm down week. So I'm doing all right. Right, questions. Right, Johan is, I've just started playing Mordheim with my usual Frostgrave gang. Nice. My question may not be terrain related, but I'll give it a try, and the question is more for chat than for you, Mel. All right, okay, so I'm just relaying your question to the chat, am I, Johan? Okay, then. I have some terrain for Frostgrave, but it is near central Mordheim terrain. Any building, height building and so on. No, mate, if your terrain is suitable for Frostgrave, it's suitable for Mordheim. End of. Yeah. I always consider Frostgrave as went on a terrain point of view. Yeah, as I always consider it as, what's the term I'm looking for? The term sort of, I think of it very much as Frostgrave is Mordheim with snow. Yeah, so the buildings are fine, the buildings you use, the mechanics all work the same. I know both sets of rules, so the terrain works from one to the other. Yeah, so just run with it, man. Mel, see some sites. There are some great museums in Chicago, not to mention Oak Park, where Frank Lloyd Wright did a lot of his work. I've got Bill and Sue from Terrainaholic picking me up Tuesday afternoon, and they're going to take me out, do a bit of sightseeing and that sort of stuff. And so I am going to, yeah, but it's the convention I'm mainly going for. So if it's a choice between going and and doing, sightseeing or being in the hotel, yeah, with the convention, the chances are I'm going to be in the hotel with the convention. Dave's saying this will be my 14th Adepticon. I think it's only been 3 years that I've ever left the hotel convention and gone outside. Well, I'm in which case I'm luckier than Dave, because I'm actually flying in earlier, because scheduling flights is actually, it's easier if you go like a week, Monday to Monday sort of thing. Yeah, and And so it's, what you call it, it looks like I'm going to get to see the sights more than Dave has. I think there's a German U-boat in the Chicago Museum. There's one in Liverpool. It's only an hour away. I ain't going to Chicago to see something I can see an hour up the road. I want to see something different. Like the really big terrain dioramas they have at Adepticon. They're nuts. Right, question 4 of 15. Remember, if you're liking the chat, links down below to support the channel, guys. Yeah, support it via the Kickstarter, pledging, or PayPaling. It all helps. Right, okay. Inja's asking, Mel, I pledge. I'm having a feeling that this is going to be a slightly Kickstarter skewed show. Yeah, Mel, I'm pledging for 2 books and the PDF, but I only need 1. Can I donate the other one to a charity auction you will be running? I'm sure we can do something like that, mate. Or you can just have your other book that's signed. Yeah, and I give you permission to flog it on eBay and raise money direct on eBay for a charity. Yeah, and raise money for a charity that way. Either way, we'll sort it, mate. Don't worry. But, yeah, that's cool. That's really cool, mate. Thank you. Right, JP's giving me some information. Yeah, this is Chicago. Thinking of hitting the Weber Grill and Culinary Academy Sunday night after Adepticon. It's on me if you... Mel want to come along. Chicago is town for steaks. Weber is good for eats. Steak and ale seems good way to end the weekend. I don't actually know, JP, because I believe there's sort of a closing party on the Sunday night, and I don't know if I'm invited to that yet or not. Do you know what I mean? Now I'm spending the Wednesday helping set Adepticon up, so more than likely I'm going to be sitting at a table stuffing swag bags. Okay, and I don't mind because, you know, I like to feel useful and that sort of stuff. And so, I don't know on Sunday night what my plans are. Email me, dude. Email me, because I've got email. And then when I'm there, I can come find you and can figure it out. I've left what I'm doing at Adepticon quite open. I know I'm at the Geeks Tours night, on the Wednesday night. That's the Firelock Games guys are doing that. And so it's a blood and plunder night. So I'm taking palm trees. I'm taking palm trees from my studio to Chicago. I'm not joking. They're in a box in the kitchen. Yeah, but JP, I'd like to, mate, if we can. Yeah. The other, we'll see what we can sort. Sell it to Red, yeah. Right, next question. Okay, Wardrobe Hudson on YouTube. What's the easiest way to dam off a modular river based on polystyrene with clay compound prior to a resin pour so it won't leak and is removed cleanly? Many thanks. Okay, Wardrobe Hudson. This was the first question of last week's live show. Yeah, I think it was the first or the second question. The start of the show is a little bit emotional, so I'd skip through the first 5 sort of 10 minutes. But when you start seeing me sort of like get into the questions, the reason why I'm directing you there to answer it is I think I gave an answer that was really comprehensive and it was about 10-15 minutes long. Yeah, and it covered absolutely everything about exactly the question you've asked. And so rather than going over that information all over again, mate, nip and have a look at that live chat. Yeah, about 5-10 minutes in, first question, we deep delve into that, buddy. And all the information you're after is there. I just don't want, I know to give you the same information is going to take me at least 10 minutes. Yeah, and I literally said it last week, so I don't want to repeat it. Okay, Daniel H on YouTube. Little question. What's your thoughts on 3D printing and mixing that with general terrain building? Oh, 3D printing. That one comes up quite often. Is Trainaholic in? Hello, buddy. Sorry, we'll do the 3D printing question. Hello, dude. Thanks, Sue. That's better. Thanks, Sue, for offering to pick me up from the airport, Bill. Yeah, but I fly in before she actually finishes work, so I think it'll be a bit late by the time she gets to me, so I'm just going to Uber it. But thank you, and can't wait to see you on Tuesday, buddy. Really stoked about it. And thanks for your shout-out vid as well, man. I'll keep an eye. Right, okay. 3D printing. Just don't take a bag of suspicious green clump foliage to America. No, I'm not going to do anything like that. Not at all. Right, no, what's your thoughts on 3D printing? Okay, first off, if you're buying a 3D printer and then you're buying the files to print your terrain, you've just moved the point of manufacture. There's nothing new from buying resin casts or 3D prints and having them shipped to you. If you're modifying the terrain, then that's definitely a step up. Yeah, but with 3D printing, I see 3D printing two elements. One, creating all the gribbly bits, yeah, that are a real struggle in terrain making and are a real time sink. You know what I mean? Like doors and pipes and valves and stuff like that. Your terrain garnish that you put onto your build. And also creating bits like that for doing silicon molds that you can then cast up as regular gribbly bits. And that's where I see 3D printing. Now, I do not see 3D printing replacing terrain making in wargaming, because before 3D printing has got such mass appeal and has that distribution, yeah, augmented reality is going to come along and do it instead. Yeah, and we're all going to be playing on augmented reality tables. Now, to be perfectly honest, I don't think that's going to affect that's going to affect the hobby that much either. Yeah, because I think there's a lot of people who come to this hobby for this hobby, terrain making, model making in itself, and so I think it doesn't matter what technology does. Yeah, we'll still be using modeling techniques that they were using in the 50s to make films and Thunderbirds and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? We're still, right now, 50 years on, we're still using techniques they were using 50 years ago in model making and film making. Yeah, we haven't stepped up. Well, we have, but we haven't abandoned the old. We treasure it almost. And so I think, even with more technologies coming in, yeah, I mean, I'm really delighted to see, the amount of terrain channels on YouTube and how they're rising up and how well they're doing. It can only be an indication that the actual terrain modelling side of this hobby isn't only just staying, it's growing alongside all these technical innovations like 3D printing, EPVC terrain, where pre-printed terrain, laser cut, pre-painted terrain. Right. Hey Mel, it's both of us. Oh, is it both? Hello Bill, hello Sue. I have to scroll through my comments to make sure I don't miss anyone. It's Jace off. Catch you later, buddy. Have a good one. Right, next question. Wardrobe Hudson is, what's the best way to estimate how much resin you might need? Yeah, generally you can work it out. Yeah, width by depth by length. Yeah, but what I tend to find is what you can do very simply is just get some blue tack, run some blue tack around around not your piece, but just on a bit of plastic. Yeah, and make it roughly the shape of your resin pour you're going to do. Okay, make it roughly the same height as where your lips are. Yeah, the lips of the actual what that's going to hold your your resin in. And then just get water in a cup and see how much water it takes to fill it to the level you want, because that's how you work out a volume of resin and a volume of water. They don't change. Okay, they are what they are. So it will take as much water to fill a similar space as it will take resin to fill your modular river. Yeah, and so you can work it out and do a quick couple of tests that way. Yeah, and just go, all right, it's about half a cup. So when you're mixing your resin, all right, I've just got over half a cup. Yeah, that should do it pretty well. So yeah, that's how you estimate resin, dude. Okay, question 9 of 19. Duncan's asking, any book recommendations for fortifications? More so for World War II. I do have German field fortifications, 39 to 45. Now that's the Osprey book. That was the one I would probably recommend. To be perfectly honest, book-wise, you either got a really deep delve, okay, because it's a very specific book, and the more specific a book is, the less likely it is to be published, because there's less interest in it. Okay, this is why, you know, I'm making mine with as much broad information as possible in. You know, I could imagine if I did a book on, right, and this book is about trees. You know what I mean? Yeah, it may be a really brilliant, in-depth book, but there'll be a load of people who, I'm never going to put a tree on any of my dioramas or any of my gaming tables, Mel. Yeah? So, you know what I mean? So, books, I don't think the way to go. YouTube, Google and stuff like that for searching technical stuff like that can be really iffy. Sometimes you find some nice, like, posts and that sort of stuff. Now, the way I do it is I have a field manual for the engineers, and it's got all the plans in for all the British fortifications. Now, they're not to the German ones, yeah, and I don't know where you could get a translated version of a German field engineer's manual. But I've got this, it's a really old thick one, and it's literally got all the designs and the plans for trenches, for bunkers, and all that sort of stuff. Tells you the thickness of the walls and angles, and, you know, all the design elements you've got to include, and the military aspects of them to consider as well. Yeah, which is really good, because, you know, you take that and then you look into it and you compare it across terrain, you can make some nice stuff. But I do think you're going to struggle with that, to be perfectly honest, bud. There's a channel, yeah, who does videos, and he visits bunkers and stuff like that and films them. Yeah, and he has good, he puts links into good reference material in his videos, but I can't remember the channel name right now. But if you do a search for something like, you know, German bunker walkthrough. Oh, the chat is going. Additionally, if you if you have a debit or bank card with a Visa or MasterCard symbol, you can use that. I've never had a credit card backed with more than 20 Kickstarters with my debit card. So you can use a debit card on Kickstarter. You don't need a credit card. But Russ did say, in Osprey Publishing has tons of books on historical buildings and structures. I've got Sander, Rusted, and JP. Sander, I'm seeing when I get back from Brussels, when I'm in Brussels. Rusted is taking me to the Mantic Night, and JP, wants to take me to Steak. Yeah, essentially everyone who's meeting me in Adepticon is here. They're all here, like, you are going, Mel, aren't you? Is he alright? We've got to keep an eye on him. It's Adopt a Mel. If you'd like to adopt a Mel, all you need to do. Jimmy's saying lots of plans for German fortifications via Google. I'm making some German bunkers from those plans scaled, so give it a go. I didn't actually look for German plans. I made British bunkers. But yeah, that's my recommendation, Duncan. Right. Okay, Brian on Twitch. As I don't have a foam cutter, I'm trying to make hills using peak foam sheets to block in the size. What material would you use to model the hill over the foam sheets? I've had homemade sculptor mold recommended to me. If this is your suggestion, what recipe would you use to make it? First off, I'd recommend you go and check out the Hills playlist, mate, because there's quite a few techniques in there. Yeah, the sculptor mode glute one, I tend to use a mix of anything. Yeah, paper, grit, I use sawdust quite a lot to bulk it out, but my main casting material in it is stuff called Cristacal, because it hardens really hard. It's lightweight, yeah, and it hardens in like 15 minutes, yeah, and so that's my that's my go-to sculptor mold. People call it sculptor mold, but basically it's just terrain glue. Yeah, you just throw a load of stuff in. I should do another video on it soon. I think it's on the board to do, to be truthful, gloops. Yeah, but I mean, if you're using pink foam as just the blocking shape, you can coat it with cast rocks. You can coat it with cork bark or some sort of barking material. You can give it a coat with plaster bandage. Yeah, there's a whole range of techniques, mate, to be perfectly honest. For the low price of just 5 nuggets every Sunday, you too can adopt a Mel. I'm being adopted through various stages, yeah? Which is actually quite nice because, you know, if someone could adopt me, you know, during the flight stage and get me to the hotel room, so, you know, because that's what they did with my first trip to Beasts of War. I met Ben at the airport and he was like, right, I'll take you to the studio and everything. I'll get you checked in. And it was like, right, nice. Don't have to worry about anything. Ben just tells me where I need to go. Which was nice, because when I went to Beasts of War the second time, I'd sort of done it once. Mel, you know we're all watching out for you. Kez would murder us if something happened to you over here. She is so panicking. She's really worried. JP saying, I'm a Kentuckian man. We're known for our hospitality. Very nice. I think we all feel that Mel is a major part of a family and we're a part of his. Mel needs to be adopted. Right, I've got 11 questions of 20. We're doing all right. Max, opinions on thoughts on microset and microsol. You need a gloss surface for the transfers? Yeah, okay, microset and microsol. They're a set of products. There's a third one as well you can buy. Yeah, that's very similar. They sell them in a range of 3, and I can't remember what the third one is. Yeah, but microset and microsol. Okay, when you're putting water transfers on, you know, like, you know, your tank symbols. Yeah, these are products that are designed to really work well with them. And what you basically do is you paint gloss onto your tank, yeah, so you've got a nice smooth surface. That's so that when the transfer goes down, there's no gaps or little bobbly bits underneath it. It can go on nice and smooth. Yeah. Then we've got what's next? Then you put your transfer on, okay? And then what you've got is microsol, if I remember correctly. I haven't used them in years. You brush it on and it dissolves the clear plastic, yeah, of the actual transfer, just leaving the coloured bits. So it gets rid of the little edge around it, okay? And then, if I remember correctly, microset, yeah, is essentially like a final glue hardener that you put on. And then after that, you normally go over it with a matte varnish just to take the gloss off and that sort of stuff. Well, that's what I used to do with my Imperial Guard back when I used to do them. They're good products, to be perfectly honest. I think I used to use the microsol a lot more than the actual set, because I think I just used to go with, right, once it's actually on, I'm going to be varnishing it with a matte varnish. That'll hold it in place anyway. One tip I did used to find really handy was to make sure when you're cutting your transfer out, to cut the edges of the transfer as close to the print, you know, the colour. Yeah, so as little clear stuff as possible, because microsol does dissolve it, but yeah, if there's quite a bit of it, it doesn't. I found it wasn't quite perfect, but if you got it, as long as you got the excess clear stuff off, yeah, the sol dissolvent could work really well over the coloured bits. But so yeah, there's another product that they do, and I can't remember for the life of it. But yeah, they're good products if you go into that level of detail. It's not something we'd rarely use something like that in terrain, which is why I haven't used them since I did my Imperial Guard. I imagine when I finally get round to putting, you know, the transfers on my Chindits drink, then I'll be digging them back out. But I'll have to do a test because they've probably been in my paint stuff for years. Dave Taylor says, after microsol set, I hit it with the gloss varnish again and then the matte. See, he's a professional painter. I'm just like, matte will do it. That'll do. Ironically, when it's my terrain, I do take it to those extra steps. When it's my models, I don't. Right, okay. Kat is asking 2 things. Do you know the website for getting Dave's book? Okay, I imagine Dave will post that in the comments right now. It's something like King's Hobbies or something like that, but I'll let Dave post it and then I'll shout it out. Yeah. Also, your package arrives on Monday. Be sure and ask for it when you check in. It's not gonna explode or anything like that with confetti all over the reception, is it? And you haven't put like, look, I could. Do I need to open this package in private, Cat? Yeah, you see, what you've got to understand, yeah, is I'm ex-British Armed Forces. When friends send packages, we don't open them in front of other people. Am I safe to open this in front of polite company, Cat? Because I'll tell you, yeah, some of the things I've written on the boxes for the postie to read, to be delivered to my mates. Yeah? Mistress Felicia. Sorry, John. It's brutal. It really is. No worries, Max. Glad it helped you, mate. And if remember, if these things do help you, links down below to the old PayPal to Watch Colour to send a little bit. Yeah, so I can have a bagel and a donut and a hot dog. I've got food money, don't worry. But I might allow, you know, a little bit of spending money. We'll see. Anyway, links down below. Kickstarter. Remember, let's check the Kickstarter. What are we up to? Have we had any more? No. Oh. Oh, I feel disappointed now. Shouldn't be disappointed. It's bloody brilliant. See, this is what hope brings you. There's a Buddhist thing, isn't there? You know, he who desires, yeah, only seeks sorrow or something like that. And the idea is, as long as you don't desire and you just go for it, yeah, and don't worry about what you get, you'll always be happy. See, I desired. It's brought me down. Right, let's get back to my questions. You are the one who's taking a random package to the fire station. Yeah, but I know what's in it. Ark on YouTube. Right, okay, Ark, so I'll make this clear. Ark says Kickstarter only accepts credit cards. No, Kickstarter only accepts cards with a Visa symbol. Okay? I don't have a credit card, yeah? But I have a Visa debit card, and that works on Kickstarter. I have backed Kickstarters with that in the past. Okay, so you don't need a credit card for the Kickstarter. If you've got a debit card, it's got a Visa debit symbol on the back or a Visa symbol, you're good to go. Yeah, there's also PayPal, I believe. Right, The mum in me just wants to make sure you're fed and happy. I've even included forks and spoons. Oh, she's a good one. I was thinking about, right, banjo food. I'm going to need some cooking irons. Terrain and wisdom all in one evening. Zen Mel. No, be honest. I'll be honest with you guys. I've had to be doing this a little bit because, you know, my emotions have been up and down over this. You know, like, you know, such an amazing start, and then, you know, it's been great. But because the emotions are all over, I'm learning to sort of like, no, just go with, encourage people to sign on, make it the best book you can. Yeah, and when the dust settles, what you're left with is what you're left with. And if you didn't get the full book, then don't worry. Yeah, you got a book. But I really want that book. I'm trying. Right, I need to describe. What about the mini eggs? Oh, thanks, reminded me. Mini eggs. I've got a family bag in the Watch Colour in the car to take with me. Pagan saying no PayPal, Mel. Don't worry, I do believe we're taking PayPal in the Watch Colour backer section in the Pledge Manager. So if there's no way you can possibly get onto the Kickstarter, yeah, you should be able to get on and pledge in the backer kit, in the Pledge Manager, which is backer kit afterwards. Dave will correct us on that. He'll be in the comments. Also, Dave's saying or MasterCard. Yeah, when I was talking about the Visa thing, the symbol, or a MasterCard debit card, you don't really see those in the UK, so it's not really in my mind. Yeah, Kat saying credit card, debit card, Google Pay, or prepaid cards. Right, I've got a terrain question. Okay, Pete Carter, well, what's your terrain lab on acrylic caulking? Have you done anything else with it since the video? I was thinking of making a roll-up dirt road. To be perfectly honest, I haven't, but I should do. Yeah, we're coming up on the 6-month mark, so they've been in storage for 6 months now. I get them out every month or so and just have a play and move around, get a feel for them. Yeah, and I've got to be honest, they're doing well. I need to just refine stopping road pieces curling up at the edges. Yeah, I have been having a play with that, and I've been getting good results with countercoating the bottom. Yeah, with acrylic caulking. Yeah, and it sort of it keeps it flexible. Yeah, makes it a little bit stiffer. Yeah, but it stops it curling up at the end. Rusted Beetle is top. Don't check the campaign page, check the comments. Oh, I'm on the comments. I took a day off from the comments yesterday because I had a family day, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, with going away, I mean, I've never been away from my kids for this long. Do you know what I mean? And I've never been in a foreign country away from my kids this long and my family. And my kids are my rock, so, you know, we had a family day yesterday and we did a bit today. But I was off the comments yesterday, but I'm staying on the comments. Are you sending Mel a box of MREs? Biscuits brown, please. But yeah, what you call it? With regards to the acrylic caulking, it's something we're going to come back and we'll revisit in the summer, I think, and we'll get that nailed down. Yeah? I mean, obviously, as I'm writing the book and that sort of stuff, it's all been scheduled to work with also bringing out regular tutorials and stuff like that. Yeah, projects. So the normal terrain channel stuff will be going on. I've got a ton of back stuff, tutorial-wise, that I'm going to edit up and release that I can do in the evenings. And then I'll be doing little bits, and I'll be working on my Burma build during the actual, while I'm working on the book as well. It's basically so I've got a break. So when things are drying on a build on the book and that sort of stuff, yeah, I can put them to one side, and I've got a nice low-pressure project that I can just dip in and have a dabble and take my mind off, you know, the book stuff. I don't want to rush the book, if you know what I mean. It's got to be bang on right. And so me and Dave were coming up with ways to manage me in the studio. Yeah, so I was sort of explaining this is how I'm going to do it and this sort of stuff. I figured out where photography corner is going to be, so I can have a dedicated little, like, you know, photography setup. So as I'm working, you know, I can just take the terrain piece over to there, click, click, upload to the computer, back, work on it. So I don't have to set cameras up and all that sort of stuff. Now, on a slightly different note, before I crack on with these questions, because I'll probably be going for another 40 minutes. Yeah, I've still got to pack. I've got to get my clothes together, but I'm travelling with just one cabin bag, so it'll be an easy packing trip. Everyone's like, Kerry and my mum are like, you're only taking like 2 pairs of trousers. Yeah. And they're like, you're only taking like 5 t-shirts. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, what about socks and pants? It's like, well, I'm going out on the Tuesday. I'm sure if I have a socks and pants disaster in the first couple of days, there will be somewhere in America I can buy, yeah, a pair of socks and a pair of pants. Underpants for you, for my American followers. Yeah, we call them pants, but underwear. So, later in saying... So yeah, what do you call it? I've just got to pack my clothes. I'm feeling a lot. The closer I get to it, the calmer I'm getting. Yeah, I think Dave's like, listen, just let me know when you get. He's like, right, I've rang the hotel. Yeah, I've given them all my credit card and my debit card details. Yeah, I've essentially checked you in. You just need to turn up and have the room number. And I have, Dave. I've printed the email out, man. I've got it in paper and I've got it digital. Yeah, the 6 P's in me was like, do you write it? Write it there, and then just if you lose your bag, check me in. But Dave's like, yeah, just get to the room, get checked in, touch base with me. Pagan Shredhead saying knickers. Yeah, that's the ladies' version. Oh. Do you know when you're in... No, I can't talk about that. No, I can't talk about that. Alright. No, listen, I've got a friend who's having, sort of a surprise party for their partner. But I do know occasionally they jump on Facebook. I mean, they're not wargamers or anything like that, but they're friends on Facebook, and occasionally they jump on the page, and I'd hate to ruin the surprise by talking about it. Yeah, so I'm not going to. I wonder if I just have. Oh, I haven't. Typical Mel. 1 pair of undercrackers for an international journey. That's very army. No. Look, I've got. There's a There's a bathroom in the room. Yeah, Dave's going to come to understand army block washing when he walks in for a shower. Yeah, and there's string tied across the bathroom with underpants and socks hanging down that were washed in the sink. Not knowing the room number, I addressed the package to you and Dave, guests arriving Tuesday. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. When I check in, Kat, I'll just give reception a note that someone's sending me a care gift and that sort of stuff. So don't worry. Right. So yeah, just to wrap up the acrylic corking. Yeah, I think in summer we'll come, we'll come back to that. Yeah, because it'll be a nice dabble one. To talk about my other one, because I'm all over the place with rambling tonight, I ain't going commando, Jimmy. Not a chance. Guys, I can't do gopher dances. No. Hotels have laundry as well too. They have sinks. What do I need to pay laundry for? Mate, you're talking to someone who's washed his pants, then hung them up to dry, yeah, in the Black Forest, yeah, between 2 trees. In fact, you're talking to someone who actually came up with the idea that halfway through came up with the idea, well, it's probably better just to give them a soak in soap, yeah, and instead of trying to wring them out, just hang them on the line and let the rain wash them. And then when the sun comes out, if they dry, great. Mel, do not get caught washing your pants in the sink. Well, I mean, to be truthful, you do it in the shower, don't you? Dave may be regretting sharing a room with me right now. I regret nothing. Do you know what? Dave's going to turn up. I'll get a message. You are not washing your pants in the sink. What size are you? I'll buy you some on the way in. Too late, Davey boy. The washing line's up. First wash is done. They're drying now. Sounds like you should have included a few quarters for the washer dryer and a bit of soap. I don't really want to be taking packets of white powder. Do you know what I mean, Kat? I used to do mine in the shower on holiday. It's the way you do it. I've discovered ex-service personnel, yeah, holiday in a completely different way to everyone else. I'm like, my mum and Kez were like, you're just taking a check-on bag. You're going for a week to America. I'm like, well, it doesn't really matter where I'm going to, you know, unless it's not Norway, you know what I mean, or the desert. As long as it's rather temperate, I only need standard clothes, and for a week I can get by in a major metropolitan area with a carry-on bag. And they're like, you need a luggage bag, and you need what you call it. I'm like, no, I don't. And like Kez is like, well, you need shaving foam. I'm like, got soap. What do you need shaving foam for? Oh, I'm not doing the turn them out back to front thing. Just coat your kegs in PVA, wipe clean. It is not ex-service personnel. It's the boys. To be truthful, it's not the boys, because I used to be a medic, and a lot of the medics were women. Yeah, and although, to be truthful, yeah, they were referred to as the lads. To be truthful, yeah, they were more laddish than any of the lads. You know what I mean? And I don't want to get into all that gender bollocks right now. And I know I'm swearing because, you know, I keep that to one side. But the girls in the army are more lads than the lads are. You get the Ludwig's from Discworld. Oh, I'd love a what sort of set of disc wheels luggage. Buy shaving foam when you land. You can't carry liquids on anymore. Can you not carry any liquids on US flights? You can in Europe. I mean, it's only you can carry on less than 100 ml. Just doing a quick check of the PayPals, or I was. Oh, Mr. Greg sent me 20. Thank you, dude. Graham. I don't know why I call him Greg. Have fun at Adepticon, mate. I will. There you are. That's me underpants sorted. That's the underpant budget. No, I'm going to treat myself with that. Dave says there's a right slap-up breakfast in the hotel, but it's $25. Yeah, or there's like, you know, donuts and coffee and other like vending, you know, just outside the hotel. And then during the Adepticon, there's loads of stalls where you can buy bacon butties and stuff like that. But I might treat myself to a slap-up breakfast first thing on Tuesday morning. Or I might save it for models. So, anyway, listen, thank you, Graham. It is appreciated. And if anyone else wants to throw a little tip, links down below, guys. Right. So, I'm fine. Watch it. Thanks, James. Yeah, less than 100 ml. So, I'm fine with my aftershaves and that sort of stuff. That's the only one I'm worried about, to be truthful. Just aftershave. Okay, Kieran's asking, how would you tone down strong colour, red brick on a viaduct that I posted in the comments of your terrainiacs? Would you use washes starting with black and then go for lighter washes or weathering powders? If you want to tone it down across the lot, yeah, I would go for a light coloured wash. Yeah, don't start your washes really dark. Yeah, think of them as layers, yeah, that you can build up. If you start with something really dark, it limits what you can do with your weathering and your powders and anything else you want to do later on. So start with a light layer, give it a wash, give it a judge of how it goes on and how you like it. If it's red brick, that's terracotta. Terracotta, you want a warm brown. Use burnt umber as the base of your wash because that's a dark, warm brown. Yeah. If you use a cold brown like raw umber, yeah, then it doesn't come off quite right. Yeah, it's too long to explain why colour theory, but it's basically a warm colour with a cold wash over it. Yeah, so use burnt umber as the base for your wash and go in light. Yeah, and when you do your brickwork, yeah, because you're using a wash, remember, turn your building on its side, yeah, so it's flat. So you can tone all the bricks down. Otherwise, if you do it normally when we do the wash, you get the wash effect, which is the dirt will gravitate, the tone will run down. Yeah, and that's not what you're after. You're after an even tone. So lay it flat so the wash can sit flat on it. Good night, Inge. Good night, James. Everyone's going to... Can't bring sewing kits. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not taking a sewing kit. So good night all. Everyone's going to bed. I'm just getting ready to start what will be a long day. It will be a long day, won't it? I'll sleep on the flight. Anyway, yeah, back to the washes. Kieran, those are my tips for washes. Yeah. Also, remember, go in light. Go in over terracotta with, go in with, what do you call it, I go a bit with a burnt umber. Rusty Beetle is asking, what is your tea of preference? I don't drink tea anymore, to be perfectly honest. And what is your alcohol in a bottle preference? Vodka. I am a vodka or port drinker. That goes back to drink drafts. Back in the army, we used to play a game called Drink Drafts, and basically you have a checkers board and you have basically shots glasses, and then you play with vodka or port, you know, clear or coloured. Yeah, and you basically play drafts, and every time you took someone's piece, they had to drink it. Yeah, so the more of their pieces you took, the more drunk they got. Yeah, we used to play that all the time. So now my drinking preferences is either To be truthful, I went to an army do, or what do you call it, a while back, yeah, with a mate who got his tickets to like the sergeant's mess Christmas ball, and he goes, "What are you drinking?" I went clear, just naturally because I was in the mess, yeah. Even though I hadn't been in the army for years, he goes, "What are you drinking?" Clear, yeah, clear or coloured, but yeah, it's either vodka or port. Cat keeps saying, what you call it? He's a coffee drinker. Instant coffee. Like it's a slur. That's what we drink in Britain. We like our instant coffee. James Brown is saying, another skewed question. You mentioned on the Kickstarter video that if you made enough on Kickstarter that you might get a 3D printer. So are you going to get one or no? I don't know, to be perfectly honest. If we get to the end of the campaign, yeah, and the full plan book, then it's definitely a possibility. I hadn't put major planning in what I was going to do if we got to that stage. You know, I'd sort of planned the book funded, you know, be able to get a 4K camera. I've sort of sorted about, you know, reaching hardback, which is the audio upgrade, getting all the audio kit and that sort of stuff. I haven't really thought about the other sort of major and it reaching the end of the book because they haven't really been on my radar. You know what I mean? It's very much been right. If that happens, then great. But much like my trip to Salute, it ain't happening now. I ain't going to worry about it now. But it's definitely a possibility of getting a 3D printer. It's just a whole new thing to get into as well. Not the blood of your enemies? No, what's called the blood of their enemies. We leave that to the Gurkhas. Oh, someone sent me. Mark N. He sent me $5 by the looks of it. Thank you, buddy. There you are. That's a donut and a bagel. Might have to pick up some GW plastic kits while I'm over there. Actually, I'm probably better off picking those, having a look at them while I'm over there than picking them up when I get back. Because I've got to do plastic kits in the book as well. Now, I've got some from Mantic, but a little bit of GW slipped in there as well. Don't be talking about 3D printers to me right now. Jeremy's saying, used to have a chess set that was a little shot glasses. Same principle, but hard to play when you get hammered. Yeah, I mean, the reason we went with the Army Goes with drafts is because you can essentially draw out a drafts board and you'll always be able to find glasses enough to play that game. Even if you use tokens, yeah, and then you just got to swig out the bottle. Take a swig. Good swig. Open your throat, boy. So thank you, Mark, by the way. Thank you, buddy. Right, Morgan's asking suggestions for making World War II small buildings with hard-packed polystyrene. Trying to make bolt-action terrain for French country-style villages. Hard-packed. If you mean hard-packed, are you talking about... I wouldn't. Your buildings are going to be so much easier to make them out of foam board. Unless you've got the proper tools to really work with polystyrene. You know what I mean? I mean, the precision cutters and stuff like that. My advice would be go for foam board. Yeah, and then layer stuff on with balsa and that sort of stuff to build windows. Or buy some laser cut MDF windows to glue onto it. But the actual shape, I wouldn't use hard pack polystyrene, mate. It's too difficult to cut precisely unless you've got the right tools. Yeah, if you've got the right tools, then go for it. But you still, what you call it? You still, oh, thank you, buddy. Dr. Vulcan donated, I think that's probably $10. Thank you, dude. Thank you, buddy. Donuts, donuts. I'm really looking forward to the food over there. My eating hasn't been brilliant, to be truthful, over the past week or so. Basically because I'm all over the place, and because the kitchen's there, I'm snacking rather than eating food, and because everything's just got thrown out. So the one thing I am looking forward to about Chicago is everyone says the food there is great. So I'm going to come back like this. Mel, you'll love the Todo game room. Lots of treasures in those plastic tubs. He's open 24 hours right beside Adepticon registration. What? What's that? Homemade pineapple pie moonshine will knock your socks off. You can say that, but I should point out, I'm British. I'm ex-British forces. My kidneys got replaced by a dialysis machine in boot training, mate. We raise our kids on WKD Blue. I don't raise my kids on WKD Blue. In fact, that's a lie, and I'll be honest, yeah? I have given my lad a WKD Blue, yeah? And it was the night before Remembrance Night, and we were sitting, and I was helping him polish his boots, yeah? And I got some in the cabinet, and I just remember walking over, yeah? Grabbing one, popping it open, sticking it on the desk, yeah? Sticking it on the kitchen table because we're polishing our boots there. And Kez turned around and says, "What the hell are you doing?" And I was like, if he's old enough to polish his boots to walk in Remembrance Day parade, he's old enough to have one of them. Yeah, and that was the end of the conversation. Completely the end. You're on Tabletop Minions, aren't you? Get Mel and Adam together at Adepticon. No, Jez, no worries. Me and Adam have been chatting. Yeah. He's asking me about where's my meetup, and I haven't organised one as yet. Yeah, I just don't know where to do it from. But I'm already well in touch because we're friends on Facebook. So, you know, if anything, you know, me and Adam will touch base when we're there. Right, anyway, going back to Morgan's question. Yeah, mate. Unless you've got the right tools, don't use polystyrene. Go with foam board. Go check out the foam board playlist because there's a lot of information in there that's useful. Right, okay. Okay, we are on question 19 of 22. The bits guy is awesome. Am I going to... Is what you call it? Am I going to be bringing back an entire bag of bits? Okay, Otis is asking, I watched your video on wire trees using Elmer's glue and an earth brown acrylic paint. When I mixed the glue and painted, the colour was really dark after drying it in and up and being like a tannish brown. I was trying to match the natural browns on the trees here in West Virginia. Hit it with some washes, matey. Hit it with some washes. It's a good idea when you're mixing glues, because what you got to remember is quite often when you think about final colours, you've got to think about what am I mixing it with, which is PVA, which although does dry clear, dilutes the paint, the pigment, okay? And so it's going to be lighter. If you're then putting it over something that's light, or maybe if you put it over milliput, which is yellow, it will make the brown more yellowy. Yeah. You can either experiment, yeah, with just painting on top of little bits of milliput and getting the mix right before you tackle your trees, or you can sort of do your milliput work and then sort of go in and paint and reinforce with another base coat, or you can handle it with washes. But essentially what you've got to remember is when you start mixing wood glues and stuff like that and you're not doing a solid base coat of a colour, yeah, which is often 2 thin coats or slap it on with a house brush, yeah, it's often a matter of you've got to remember what's underneath, yeah. So it might be well worth, yeah, priming your trees with a neutral grey so they don't affect the browns. Just something to factor in. Right. Dr. Vulcan. He's just one that's just donated. I spray painted a waterboard ocean for use with small ships. Needs to be flat or very... I spray painted a quick ocean board to use for small ships. Needs to be flat or very small waves. The paint turned out well, but I was wondering, would you recommend acrylic water effects, clear varnish or clear resin as a thin layer of shine on top of the surface? I normally use resin or acrylic water effects over acrylic. Right, but I'm not sure if a varnish would be better over spray paint. Right, a varnish would go over a spray paint perfectly fine. Yeah, and that would be fine. I would not, if you're doing a board, I would not use acrylic water effects, as in the still water. Okay, the reason being is because it dries through shrinking. Over that such a large an area, you're going to get cracking and problems, mate. So can that off. Acrylic water effects in the way of like the texture gels to make the waves, they're fine. They're only small areas. Okay, but over the entire board, acrylic water effects is not the way to go. So you can either go with a nice varnish, yeah, and be happy with that. Maybe stipple on some acrylic water effects after, you know, the texture ones afterwards. I would go, yeah, with a clear resin. Because one, you can do a clear resin, it'll be perfectly smooth. But what you can do, yeah, and you'll have to practice this before, is as the resin sort of starts to set, you can get a heat gun, yeah, and come along, give the area a quick blast and just warm it up a little, then give it like a side blast, and you get little ripples, yeah. Now they're all roughly of the same height, so your models can still sit on them perfectly well, and you can work it in patches. Yeah, what you need is a heat gun, yeah, and you need a hairdryer blowing on cool. Yeah, so that as you get your little ripples, as you move it away, you hit it with the cold, yeah, just to sort of, to set those ripples in place. Yeah, but have a play with it first. So that's my suggestion on that one, mate. Hope it helps, and thanks for the donation, buddy. You are buying donuts on day 3. I can't keep it. Listen, the donut thing, yeah. Is it a breakfast thing, donuts, in America? If I go in, because everyone said go for like breakfast, go for a donut and a coffee. And I don't want to like walk into this place and like, I'd like a donut please, and everyone go look at me weird because like I'm not eating breakfast stuff. Oh my god, what's that? Has he done it again? Did you see something dance then? Something different? Thank you kindly. I do not use spray paint, so glad I checked. Sorry for the double question submission, so here's a double donation. Don't worry, bud. Don't worry about hitting double questions. I don't mind the double questions, but I do appreciate the double donations. Okay, Pete's asking, I don't need 2.5 litres of paint for a tiny board. Would you just bite the bullet and buy a couple of tins for the shade? I'm going to use your filler method, or is there a cheapest paint that I could try? Genuinely not fussed about realism. It just needs to be green and textured. Go for tester pots, mate. I think, what you call it? I think B&Q, yeah, they do a tester pot for their they're custom mixed, colour matched for their Valspar range, and it's £3 for 1/4 of a litre. 250 millilitres, and that's enough to do a 2x4 board. Yeah, so you don't need to buy 2.5 litres of paint. I generally, what you call it, there's a couple of colours I buy in 2.5, yeah, and that's brown and grey. Beyond that, I've got a couple of colours like blues and stuff like that that I use as base colours that I can mix into other things, and desert colours. I buy those in litres. Then everything else is tester pots. Because you see, beyond base coating, the actual amount of paint that you use, you're actually normally mixing it into your base coat to change the colour of something, or you're dry brushing or over brushing, which uses very little paint. So you only really need the volume of paint for your base coating stuff. So, you know, your greys and your browns, and your blues if you're doing a lot of ocean work. You can even get deep fried donuts. Can you really? Anyway, Pete, hope that helps, mate. Go get yourself a £3 tester pot. Jelly donuts. Man, a breakfast donut. What a time to be alive. Donuts are breakfast, but we Americans eat everything at all time. Yeah, but I won't be able to get oatcakes there, will I? Because they're a Staffordshire thing. You can't get those out of Stoke. Well, you can't get them out of Staffordshire. If you're thin, people are going to be giving you donuts to feed you up. Oh, I'm thin. That's right. That's why half of it is I'm looking forward to coming back and and being. I'm not saying fed, you know what I mean, but same for Ireland. Ireland, they eat well over in Ireland. They really eat well over in Ireland. The food is lovely, yeah. And I came back regenerated, so I'm hoping for this. Yeah, that, you know, it's going to be the same. I want to avoid McDonald's and all that sort of stuff and, you know, the junk food. And I want some real, you know, American food. Just done some remodelling of some Mackie D's in your neck of the woods. And I never saw any donuts. And he's talking to Otis. Okay. All donuts are deep fried. Actually, technically they are. That's how you make donuts. A ring of donut in hot oil, then dipped in a topping, sometimes chocolate. So do you not have jammy donuts where you inject jam in them? You know, the full ones, not the ring donuts. You might get oatcakes. English shops in Chicago. Oh, can you imagine walking into an English shop in Chicago? Alright guys, we're 11:15. Okay, I've run out of questions and I'm turning the form off now. Yeah, remember, if you have enjoyed the stream, links down below. I am going to have one last look at the Kickstarter. Have we gone up? We have! Another four backers! Oh, we're close to going up another grand. I'm a happy Mel. Thank you, guys. Listen, if you do want to get in on this awesome terrain project, get it down below. And someone's just jumped off. No, someone's just jumped on. Oh, nice one. We have. Oh, no, we're $12 short. We haven't hit the grand. But I'm not being disappointed. Don't be disappointed. Zen man. You will end up with the pages you end up with. They're called jelly donuts. Right, they're called jelly donuts, are they? Right, so. I suppose... Right, one last quick check of PayPal. I don't want to miss anyone. A jelly donut. Well, I'm going to be well fed. I'm going to be okay. Do you want me to check in with you all? Let you know. I'll post it on YouTube yeah, when I get to the hotel. A little story. I've arrived safely. Yeah, I think that's everyone. Just quickly check. I haven't missed anyone. I think Mark sent twice. Ah, yeah. Well, 3 times. Either way, thank you, buddy. Thank you. Ah. Right. I'm going to sit here nervous and keep looking at the Kickstarter. I've got all my docs. I've got all my travel docs. I need to get my clothes together. And we need to start this trip to Adepticon. Listen, I'd like to thank you all for joining me, keeping me distracted for the past couple of hours. Yeah, I will check in on social media. Yeah, I know you consider me part of family, so I'll check in on social media once I've checked in with Dave and once I've checked in with Kez. We've gone up another one. We did it. Nice one. Oh, awesome. Thank you, guys. Remember, if you do want to support me, links down below on PayPal to buy me a donut while I'm abroad. Yeah, or alternatively, if you want to get in and you haven't got it in on the Kickstarter yet, get in on it. Help make it an awesome book. And I genuinely, for all of you who have, I appreciate it. Right, just to tell you, you have got a video on Tuesday. I completed my Burma board. Yes, I did. I completed my Burma board. The video's out on Tuesday. See, I'll look after you while I'm away. We've got a video on Thursday, but no live show. I'm in the States on Sunday. I don't know if I can do a live show from the States, but if I do, it'll be on YouTube only. Okay, so we'll see about that Sunday night, or I could be out at a party. I don't know. Yeah, I'll figure it out once we've got. But you got videos on Tuesday. You got a video on Thursday, and I am back in the UK on Tuesday. Yeah, so have a total bell at Adepticon, dude. Travel safe. Skip the donut smell, too much junk food. What's cool about the USS is that actual diversity. You can get all sorts of culinary samples here. Brilliant. Okay. Right. Thanks, guys. I'm going to check out now. All the best, yeah? Ta-da.